And hello and welcome to IWGTC Season 3. We are here at the Autodromo Internazionale di Monza. Beautiful circuit in the Italian countryside, I guess. Not right in the city center. My name is Julian Strasser and I'm joined by Ivano today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Last week we had some technical issues. We couldn't stream Barcelona. But hey, this week we're here. We're ready to race. We're ready to commentate. We're ready to have some good old-fashioned fun with, thousands of dollars worth of coffins, I guess.
Thousands of dollars worth of driving metal coffins. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh, a beautiful picture to start into. Alright, but last week we did have a race. Thank you for mentioning that, and we have standings for that. We have actually two separate standings. We have a VTuber championship and a sim racing championship going on. In the VTubers, it's Charmander leading the way with 45 points, ahead of Merkur VR, Masato, Kaiser, and Hawken. And in the sim racer standings, we got Chris Blue leading the way, ahead of Hartog, Fischer, Atskia, and Nikolai. Be sure to
Yes.
watch what they can do today.
Yeah. So our race format today, as it always has been, is 2 races. Both of them 35 minutes each. So, hey, let's see what happens. We're probably
Yes.
expecting some turn 1 carnage, as usual, because it's Monza.
Oh yes, definitely. It is Monza, and we are going to have some carnage. Hopefully not too much though, or else the stewards are not gonna have the best of time, which means us. All right.
No, I mostly feel bad for the track officials that thankfully do not exist in this game, because honestly, I feel like cleaning up all that carbon fiber is probably gonna take a long while. If we do end up, having a pile up and all that, but hey.
Yeah, there is gonna be 1 or 2 pileups. Hopefully not too big ones. But it is Monza, so we cannot. We have to go with the worst case scenario. So we are currently in the qualifying session. There is still a little bit above 15 minutes to go, and currently leading the way is Dragon05. I guess they just didn't show up last week. They are in the sim racing category. They are followed by Nike. So the sim racers seem to have the upper hand here at Monza.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they are sim racers after all. They're not VTubers who usually focus on variety content, but hey. Yeah. Honestly, I say VTubers are still putting up a decent fight considering who they're going up against.
Yeah, but we know Charmander from last season, and well, I especially know how fierce of a foe he can be, because we battled for the championship then, and boy, it was close sometimes. I especially remember our race at Brands Hatch, which was our race at Brands Hatch. We were really close.
Brands Hatch was full of excitement. Like, I was happy to be there. I'm sure everybody who raced that weekend was very happy to be there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, right now, there's no time improvements right now, sadly, but hey, it's Monza. There's not much places to really improve except the corner exits. So it's basically who can, who has better throttle management is gonna be the best at around Monza.
Yes, that is correct. One person I see that is currently improving is Merkur VR. He's currently 2 seconds up on his time, and on the start-finish straight, what can they do? Up into 7th position. Lovely by Merkur VR. There are still 13 minutes left. Maybe Merkur can even still improve in that time.
Yeah, honestly, knowing after having fought against Merkur in the last 2 seasons, I know that 7th place is probably not going to be enough for him. Like, we both know his pace. We both know how fast he can be. So I'd say he's definitely gonna be in the top 5, maybe top 3.
Yeah, he is currently in the top 5 for the VTuber standing, but as you say, there is going to be that little bit of extra pushing to make it an overall top 5 at least.
Yeah, I mean, for now in qualifying, I mean, the top 5 in qualifying should be very good for him, and I know that he can probably do. Oh,
Ooh, that was, yeah, that
ah,
was a position. But that was Tateyama, unfortunately, going sideways there. Let's actually see what happened to Tateyama there. If we go to the back, to the replay. It just went off track, and tries fixing it, but doesn't see that Merker is coming, so Merker crashes into the side. Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah, it's
unfortunate.
unfortunate. Yeah, it happens. I mean, hey, it's a racing. What are you gonna do about it? You know. Things never go that smoothly. I mean, this just happens.
Yeah, but at least it's only qualifying. That means no race carnage has managed to happen yet. And
Yeah.
fingers crossed that the race carnage will not be too hard and people are gonna get it over with in the qualifying session.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the keyword there is yet, because as we mentioned previously, this is still Monza.
It is still Monza, that is true. So, let's take a look at someone who is improving their time. Cop 90 is currently half a second up on their time and halfway around the course. Let's see what they can do in their beautiful black... Is that black and orange or purple and orange Lamborghini?
I don't know, because I don't have the skins downloaded.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Well, I think, yeah, it's either a dark blue or a dark purple. It's a beautiful skin, I have to say. Unfortunate that you cannot see it. It is Koneko Racing sponsored. Lovely.
Of course. And also, you know, I'm gonna give props to Cobb as well for being the only Lamborghini on the field right now. You know, he's repping the Italians pretty well.
Yes, that is great, especially being on an Italian track. It's almost like a home race. And Cobb, lost a bit of time there in the Parabolica. Manages to improve to P10, but not much further ahead.
Yeah. I mean, as we've, you know, established before, Monza is not really somewhere that you can really make up a lot of time, especially when you know, keep going up and up and up. Because at the end of the day, it's always just those micro improvements at the end of the day, especially in qualifying.
What I have to say, though, from I think last season or this season before that we raced in Monza on Raceroom, and the most time I always made up was in turn 1. Actually, the braking into turn 1. It's so precise to manage to hit the apex there exactly at the right point that you can save a lot of time or lose a lot of time there.
Exactly, that turn 1, like it's always turn 1 that makes or breaks a lap, and it's even more of a case when it comes to a track like Monza, where it pretty much sets up the entirety of the remaining part of the sector, and not to mention a bit of the start of sector 2 as well.
Yes, exactly. Let's actually take a look at someone. Akito is about to get a new lap in, so let's take you across lap Akito Zagawa. We are on the start finish straight, and we're gonna have to look at the left for the 150-meter board. Shortly after that, you break into that T1. There's an important apex to hit and an important exit to get from that chicane. Now it's back on the accelerator for Curva Grande. I think that's Curva Grande, yes. And
It is indeed.
it is indeed. And we're coming up to the second chicane. We're breaking about at the end of the orange right and cut across the sausage curve. Not too much or the car will get unstable, bump too much, and will land in the gravel track. Back at the orange on the right again into I forgot the names. God damn it. Well, these two corners managed to hit the apex nicely there. Kito is still up. He's up at about 2/10 and coming up, flashing the guy in front. Nice of them to get out of the way. That was taken a bit too much of the inside curb. That upset the car, and unfortunately, that is Azuzagawa's lap done.
Oh, it happens. Probably gonna say it a million times during this broadcast, but hey, it's racing. This happens.
It's racing.
Now we're gonna hit the
and at least
now
it
we're
was
gonna hit
only
the
qualifying session.
Yeah. If it was back in the pits, he's probably not gonna be happy, but hey. Let's look down.
Let's look down to Psycho Kaiser or Kiza. How I need to ask them how to pronounce that. They are currently in P10 and half a second up into the Parabolica. Going a bit wide on the exit there. Was that invalidated? No, it was not. 6/10 up on their time. What can they make? Up into P3, top of the VTuber standings for Kaiser there. Lovely.
Incredible. Okay, it's not, that common of a sight to see Charmander get actually pushed down on the qualifying chart. So, I'd say that's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. And we'll see Charmander is currently in the pits. Maybe he's going to exit to get another lap in, a better lap in. There's still over 5 minutes left. So there's 2 laps potentially if he exits now.
Yeah, right.
Looking at the rest of the grid, Dragon 05 is currently for Bentley M Sports improving on the lap. Well, just about on the same time. And that is going to be a statement if he manages to still improve on the top spots currently.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it would make a pretty decent statement that they're here to just dominate this race, and possibly if they want to stick around for more than one round, hopefully they also want to maybe dominate the whole season if they wanted to. But hey, who knows?
We will see about that. Currently he's dominating Monza and lost a bit of time into the Parabolica, so he's unfortunately not going to improve on the time right now. But let's see Chris Blue, who is currently the season points leader in the sim racing category. He's currently 1.5 tenths up on his time. Needs to find a bunch more time to gap the group of 4 VTubers in front of him.
Yeah. It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, the M6 is a relatively stable GT car in pretty much any game that's been featured in. So it should allow Chris to, focus more on just driving the track instead of fighting the car.
Yeah, fighting the car is definitely not a necessity. It doesn't help though when grazing the grass or the off track at all as it did before. So What can he do into the parabolica? There's still a 10
Seems
up.
that seems a yeah. Actually, that line is pretty good.
It's a
The
good
line's pretty
line, but
decent.
it's a bit slow on the exit. He lost his time he had, and is not going to
Yeah,
improve this lap around.
sadly. And not to mention, you know, we talk about the exit of Parabolica, but we don't really talk about the after effects of it because that momentum is carrying on to the next lap as well. So not only is getting a bad exit on Parabolica a bad thing just for for the end of the lap, but it's also going to be a detriment for the start of the next lap at Monza, just because of how speed oriented the whole track is as a whole.
That is true. It is a very long straight, and it is very important to get the top speed there. It is going to be mostly a slipstream battle if you are in the slipstream. But we will see about that.
Exactly. Speaking of slipstreams, right out of Ascari, coming up Parabolica, there seems to be a slipstream attempt. Actually, there is some little slipstreaming over there. Yeah. Char. Well, that is Char. He's coming right around Parabolica. I believe he's about to start his lap or
Yes,
the end.
Char is about to start his lap. And it's going to be 2 laps possible for the, well, I guess last season's champion.
Yeah. Also, last season was pretty interesting. I mean, I believe Char pretty much swept the field, if I remember right.
VTuber fields, yes, that is correct. There were some sim racers battling for the championship, but it was a case of not missing all of the races, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I genuinely respect Char for, you know, how much dedication he had put into, you know, this championship for like the last couple of seasons.
It is amazing, and I have to say, I quite like the livery Charmander is going with. It's a mix of my favorite color, lime green, and my second favorite color, which is not a color, black. So
Black is a color.
black and white are not colors. You learn that when you study art. I didn't study art,
Yeah,
but
well,
I know it anyways.
I will admit I was mostly doing random things instead of paying attention in our art class. So
Fair enough.
yeah,
It seems like Char's lap this time around is 6/10 or half a second slower than his best. So there's gonna be some improvement hopefully in the next lap. However, we've got Merkur, who's currently half a second up on their time. Currently,
driving right up to Ascari. Hold on a minute, is someone off the track? Right now the session
that
ended.
was Mentrix who's currently off the track there at Ascari, yes.
And
And that is quite the damaged beamer. Oh, holy hell.
and Merkur also binned his lap. He went wide out of Ascari, and there goes all half the second improvement. Just poof.
Someone who still can improve is Nike, who's currently in second position and is 2.5 tenths up on his time. Needs to make 2 more tenths up in the last sector, however, in order to challenge the time of Dragon 05.
Yeah, like we were so focused on everybody else on the field that we didn't realize Dragon had actually improved by 2 tenths as well.
That is true. And Wilson made it into the P3 of the overall field.
That's pretty good. Hey. Right,
Let's
Nike
see.
coming right up to Parabolica.
Yeah, still 2 tenths up on that time. A good entry and a generally good parabolica, even by the timing standards. It's not going to be enough for P1, however, so we do have Dragon 05 in pole position.
Yes, sir. And now it is time for, well, obviously the race start. The
Let's take a,
tensions.
let's take a look at the grid. We have leading Dragon 05 in front of Nike, then Wilson, Kaiser, Mandur, Damasu, Masato, Blue, Azuzagawa, Merkur VR, Hartog, Cobb 90, Buinovic, Atskia, Hawken, Brunch, Mentrix, Kanemoto, Tateyama, and Vögele heading up the back of the grid.
Yes. So now, what these drivers are wondering is not about gaining a position right now. It's about surviving turn one. We all know about Monza's turn one. It's gonna be chaos. So hey, let's see. Less than a minute until the lights go green.
Looking at the livery of Atskia right now, that has some work done into it. Ooh. It's such a shame that you don't have it installed. But you can see it on stream in a bit.
Yeah, I can watch the stream after we're done here. 20 seconds.
And it is gonna be a full formation lap, so we are going to see a bit of that. A bit of formatting.
Oh, it's gonna be a formation lap.
Yeah, it's a full formation lap. It's a flying start.
Oh, okay. Nice. I thought we were doing a standing start still. Like, hey, even I don't know the format.
Yeah, no, that is... we are racing according to the SRO rules. And according to the SRO rules, it's only a it's only a flying start.
Alright.
So we have... we have a track temperature of 48 degrees Celsius. And an air temperature of 39 degrees. That is going to be a challenge to manage the tires effectively then. And there's no wind, so it is not gonna cool down in the slightest. It almost feels like it's actually Europe right now.
We have a problem.
What is the problem?
I cannot. My spectating seems to be broken.
Return to pits and then press drive again.
I did. Like, as in, I cannot switch out of watching Nike. Yeah.
Try quitting the server and then joining in again. You should be able to do that.
But
so,
the race start.
Until that happens, we are still in the formation lap. We are currently in... Lesmos was the corner. Yes, Lesmos 2. And we have Wilson with a bit of a high ping, but other than that, it is all looking rather peachy.
There we go. Okay, it's fixed now. I'm sorry about that, everybody. But hey, it's fine. Everything is fixed.
And you know what? I am quite the fan of seeing two Bentleys up in the front there.
Knowing your British loyalism, I am not surprised.
I am loyal to the Queen even though I'm Austrian. That is true. Well, we don't have kings and queens anymore, unfortunately, so not much I can do.
I mean, I'm as American as someone can get, even though I'm Turkish, so don't worry about it. You're not the weird one here. I am.
Fair enough. what I just saw is that it seems like Chris Blue, the championship leader for the sim racing class, is in the pits, meaning probably forgot to press drive or didn't manage to do it in time. He's gonna start in the back then.
Oh, that's gonna be an issue for Chris, isn't it?
It is gonna be an issue, definitely, very much so. But the other drivers are not going to be too affected by it. In fact, they might even be happy about it. Don't be, that is evil, guys, please.
Here they come around Parabolica.
And,
Rolling start.
and thank you for mentioning it, McLaren is also in the top 3, so we've got a British top 3 at the start. Lovely! Quite lovely, and we are coming up to the start-finish straight. Let's see, what can they do? Who will get the better start?
Green light. Go, go, go.
The green lights are gone, and it looks like Nike started a bit ahead, but Dragon 05 is on the inside for turn 1, and there was a bad start by Wilson. He's getting pummeled by the first VTubers.
Oh, it's a horrible start for Charmander by the looks of things. He's way down the order. Oh, no!
And that is
There's
Charmander and Mercure coming together in the back there, yes.
Yeah, not a great start for Charmander, and an even worse start for Mercure. That could have gone a lot better than it has, but hey,
Oh!
suck it up and
What
move
is
on, I
happening
guess.
here? There was Hawken and
Oh!
And
Was that?
Mantrix. Oh, unfortunately, it was Mantrix in the middle getting pinballed from side to side. Let's watch that again. Oh, that was a bit. Aye, aye, aye.
Not an ideal start to what? Oh! Was that a Hartog and Adskia? Hartog and Adskia came together out of Lesmo. And Hartog is spun again. Right out of Lesmo. That's not good.
Oh, what happened
I don't
there?
think he's too happy with that.
I guess we gotta
Hartog-
rewatch that as well.
Yeah, Hartog came right into Adskia, and then they both went wide as they both got on the track. Hartog just spun out again, and Atskia's right out of Scary.
Yeah.
Right back at the front of the pack, though.
Wait, just a second. To be fair to Hartog, however, the spinning, okay, that can happen. You have dirty tires and you rejoin, that is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I know that from experience as well. Don't worry, kids. But anyways, let's focus back to the front of the pack. Dragon has made a decent lead, even if it's not by much. It's still a relatively decent lead up on Nike.
Well, Dragon managed to already get out of the slipstream range, and that is going to be punishing.
Yeah, but Kaiser and Nike are somewhat in each other's slipstream, so let's see if they want to maybe work together and get close to Dragon. But who knows? In other news, but whilst the front is all civilized, the middle of the pack is still rather heated, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Hey, well, actually, one thing.
Charmander went a bit wide there out of Lesmos 1. Well, that is not the best position to be in. And Buinovich is looking at the rear of Cop 90.
Yeah. So. Right now, it's all just gonna be. Let's see who's gonna be playing it smart and maybe forming some, temporary alliance. Maybe using, maybe having slipstream partners.
There is no alliance between Cop 90 and Buinovich. Buinovich trying to overtake on the outside into Parabolica and manages to get the move done.
Oh, look, looks like Cobb is trying to push it back up the inside. He's got the inside line, but But Bunovic does have more speed on thanks to an outside lane. They're drag racing down to T1 side by side. Cobb on the inside. Let's see what's gonna happen. Who's gonna chicken out? Cobb seems to be pulling a bit more compared to Bunovic. But Cobb breaks earlier than Bunovic. Bunovic seems to get the move done.
On the outside, that is a lovely move by the Audi driver.
That was a pretty intense drag race. Like, sure, they were not door to door right next to each other, but with the fact that Vinovic still managed to get Cobb to brake early just by being next to him was, pretty interesting.
But Cobb is trying to get back at Vinovic and is in the slipstream range, so managing to get a good exit out of Ascari, like Vinovic just did, would gain them back the position, most likely.
Yeah.
I do think the Lamborghini is a bit more aerodynamic as well, so it might make for a better run through Ascari.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, since they're already coming up to Ascari. Obviously, Cobb does have the slipstream advantage as well, but a bit too far back to really make a move right now. And Cobb goes a bit wide, that's going to ruin his exit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking like they're gonna do it this lap around.
Up further up on the field though, Wilson and Asuzagawa are on a pretty tight battle right out of Parabolica. They're bumper to bumper right now. Asuzagawa going on the inside. He got the slipstream help. Now it's just a drag race down into turn 1.
And the Lexus is a straight line wonder, I have to say.
Yeah, I can sell that, and Asuzagawa was obviously masterful on the brakes as well. Closing to the right in Wilson's face, and there he goes, up into P5. Clean,
lovely
simple,
move.
to the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something that we can unfortunately not say of Mentrix, who has been disqualified from this race.
Oh, how the hell did that happen? We're gonna have to check back on that. But
it did happen a few laps ago already, I think during the big tumble into the second chicane.
It seems like Merker is also in the pits. I don't know if he's retiring the car or maybe repairing the car. Who knows?
It does look like a bit of damage has hit him, so hopefully it's just a repair job and the last few laps can be finished just to get the track experience.
Exactly. But back towards Wilson and Asuzagawa. Wilson seems to be, he hasn't given up. He's chasing down that Lexus, but it's too fast in a straight line. Not even slipstream is helping him right now.
Yes, if you can control that Lexus, it is a wonder on a straight line. I don't know how they do it, but the Japanese sure have something up their sleeves.
Yeah. Yeah, especially Lexus. I mean, I don't want to sound biased, but I do like myself a nice Lexus.
And we've got Mentrix in the chat. Hopefully they can shed some light on what happened. Oh, but that was a takeout into T1 by Wilson, who didn't manage to get the braking point correct.
Ooh. Yeah, it happens. And there's another tight squeeze through turn 1 between Cobb and Jordan Brunch. That turn 1 is nobody's friend today. Like, there's no other way to put it. But it looks like Cobb is not gonna give up. He's chasing down Jordan.
Oh, that is a jumping Lexus.
Yep. Oh, watch out,
the
Jordan.
rejoin was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, thankfully Vogeley did go through unharmed, but who would have known if he hadn't.
And apparently for Mentrix, the speed limiter in the pits was not on, and overspeeding managed to get him auto disqualified.
Yeah. But anyways, up over in the field, we have a relatively... Honestly, the back is spread out, but there's still some, tiny little battles going on here, and slipstream fights, the usual. But it looks of things, Akito, Asgava, and Wilson are still going at it for P4. This time Wilson has a slipstream. He's going off the inside, but I don't think that McLaren has it.
It is gonna be a challenge for that British.
Challenge.
But he's pulling side by side, and he has the inside for turn 1. If he manages to break this time, yes, and he hits the apex, that is a move done.
And that's a pretty good defense as well, right out the exit. Like, sure, the entry was good, but you also have to remember that you have to get a good exit as well, so the driver cannot get the switchback on you, especially on a chicane.
Yes. However, we are talking about Wilson here, and they are probably gonna get a penalty for the incident before.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Robin's racing. I like to say that sometimes.
Robin's racing, but not when two cars go off track.
Obviously, that's probably going to get investigated. I'm not denying that. But hey, it's a heat of the moment situation. You have a habit of making mistakes under stress, after all.
One person who is not known for making mistakes under stress is Victor Massato, who's currently in P10 and looking up the rear of Cobb 90. Cobb didn't have the best of races until now, so Massato is surely looking to get past, maybe after Ascari.
It doesn't look like he wants to wait. It looks like he wants to pass on Ascari, but Cobb might be a bit too far ahead for that. He just slots right back in there.
Both two-head and two defensive.
Yep.
But now the slipstream is with the McLaren of Massato. Not enough for the run into Parabolica, but he tries anyways.
That was a bit of a sketchy dive, but and thankfully Cobb did give him some room. Now they're gonna have a little drag race down into turn 1 again. We've had a lot of turn 1 battles, but looks like the Lamborghini does have the straight line advantage.
Oh, but now the slipstream is coming in.
Oh, Masato wants to try the outside. He wants to get that switchback on the second half of the chicane. He does get a better braking zone, and he does get it around the outside. That's beautiful.
Lovely move, and Cobb 90 is being already immediately looked at by Brunch and Vergele behind.
Exactly. So Victor's pass has put a bit too much pressure onto Cobb. By the looks of things, he did not get a good exit at all out of turn 1. Now he has to defend already.
Well, first of Brunch is to defend from Vergele, who is not giving up on trying to overtake the Koneko Racing driver. And there's Cobb going off, and that is Brunch going sideways. What is happening there? That was a bit of off track.
Happening.
Monza is happening, yes. Monza is happening, and Vergele just made 2 positions up in 1 corner, basically.
Yes. And the action doesn't even stop there, as we have a little bit of a drag race down to the barrel. Oh!
And Charmander is trying to get the best out of that, out of the 2 fighting in front of him.
Yeah, Damaso does get a bit of a sketchy pass, but hey, it happens. Gotta take what you can get, you know? And Akito looks like he's down on his luck already as he's getting passed again, this time by Char, into the braking zone. Char seems to be hungry.
Yes. I mean, he's the defending champion. He must be hungry to defend his title.
Exactly. And then again, I also don't blame Char for pushing the car either. He had a horrible start of the race. Like, he qualified P5, and he at the end of lap 1, I believe he was down on P9 or something. So he has made quite a lot of positions already. So hey, big respect to him on that front.
Yeah, and especially respect seeing that he is now P3 already in the VTuber standings.
Yeah.
But he's looking to make that P2 right behind Damasu.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dragon is enjoying a nice little Sunday drive up in first place.
Not surprisingly, the Bentley is stable as ever.
Yeah, those two Bentleys are pretty much dominating the field right now. 4 seconds ahead of everybody. I mean, 3 seconds ahead of everybody in the field. Those two Bentleys. Prizes for Elon. But hey, Char's looking up the outside. Oh, that's Shike, yeah.
That is Shike. They're currently lapping already, and Char
Yeah,
had the worst end of that.
yeah. Shike was not. It was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, I don't know if I can blame Shike for that.
Yeah, not really. It was bad luck.
Oh, oh no! We have an incident. Turn 1.
It seemed like a crash happened there. Let's see what happened exactly. Damasu is
If I'm
braking
not,
too late a bit. Oh no, it is Charmander getting too quickly, or Damasu going too slow in between the two corners. That is unfortunate, but it looked like it was on Charmander. So if that is going to the stewards, there is definitely going to be a look at Charmander.
exactly. Today, honestly, today has not really been Charmander's day, I'd say. But let's see if you can just make the most of it.
We have 2 yellow flags, Hartog in the Parabolica and Shike Hawken again in the Lesmos. So they are not having the best of days. Hartog especially, as they are currently a front runner for the championship.
Yeah, after that lap 1 incident, it doesn't look like Hartog have had a good run in this race. But hey, let's not forget, this is still only race 1. We still have a second race that we're going to be doing later on. Let's never forget.
We do have a second race coming after this. But I hope everyone is staying in the server so they can continue to fight in the second race.
Anyway, speaking of fighting, oh no! Jordan runs right into Shike, and Shike's car just reverses right back into Jordan. Right back in the front. It's not his fault, but damn, that sucked.
Oh, it was just too wide between the Beamer and what was that? Jordan Brunch, yes.
Yeah. Today has been a bit chaotic.
A bit chaotic? That is the understatement of the century.
Oh, yeah, I know. I am already aware of that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to keep it, lighthearted and all.
One who is not so lighthearted is
Wilson has fun.
What?
Wilson has fun out of Lesmos too.
Oh.
He has to get that car back under him quickly because Char is coming up.
More importantly, Bujnovic is coming, who is battling Wilson for position and for points.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Technically,
it seems like not much is...
Go on.
I'm sorry. Anyways, but it looks like the field has somewhat calmed down now. There's not much action going on anymore.
That is true. So, it is a good point now. We are a bit over the halfway of the race. 1. So, there's something that I have to mention, which is the VTubers and the sim racers do not need to fight each other. If Wilson sees that Charmander right behind him is quicker, he can just let him pass, and there's no point lost on any of them. But
Yeah, these
that
are
is,
sim racers.
yeah, but some sim racers are smart enough to know that when they can let someone pass that is quicker than them in order to maybe get a slipstream.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. And it looks like Assetto is in the pits. That's
Tateyama
interesting.
managed to crash in Lesmos too. What happened there? Oh, this is a bit too late, unfortunately.
Careful on the exit, sunshine. It looks at things. Char is still trying to grab that slipstream off of Wilson. But Vinovich is also trying to grab the slipstream off of Char. So, hey. Char has a lot.
Maciej Politsky was just stopped on the side of the track, being 9 laps down.
I am genuinely wondering what's going on with Politsky.
I guess crash at the start, repaired the vehicle to completion, and went AFK while doing that, while repairing. But now being in the way, what is...
What's going on? That was Chris Blue. He was not. Yeah, probably not happy about what Politsky was doing there.
They do have the same machinery, but overall standings are only considered for overall race wins. Overall race wins are counted on SGP, the platform that we're racing on, and except for that, overall standings are completely do not matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like
Politsky's going really slow around turn 1 now. But getting out of the way.
He just stopped. He just stopped out of turn 1. That's a bit strange.
At least it's not on the racing line.
Yeah, but you're still stopped on the track, which I don't think is allowed. Like, sure, he's not on the racing line, but he's still stopped on the track. Like, what if people are coming in, they're racing each other. Someone has to go up the inside, and then there's Politsky sitting on the track. Honestly, perfect example right there, Kanemoto.
Yeah, exactly. That was already it.
Yeah, hey. Speak of the devil and he shall come. Kanemoto almost running into Politsky. I don't know what's going on with him, but stewards are definitely going to be looking into him after the race is done. I'll tell you that much.
Yes. What we do have, however, is a 5-car slipstream between Charmander and Damasu. 4-car slipstream, there must be some backmarker in there.
Yeah. The backmarker in question is Tateyama. Tateyama's 2 laps down, if I'm not mistaken. A couple of laps down on the field. But yeah, other than that, you're not wrong. It is a slipstream between Charmander and Wilson, because it looks like Vinovich is out the slipstream.
And good, Politsky reset to the pits, so not anymore on the track.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm still confused as to what was going on with Politsky. I mean, the steward's probably gonna have to talk to him after that, but hey, right now we don't have to worry about that, as it looks like Wilson is trying to put some pressure onto Charmander.
I mean, of course, Charmander took the position away from Wilson, so they're gonna try to get the overall track position back, because they want to have a buffer between them and Vinovich.
Exactly. Looks like...
Or Wilson just did what I mentioned earlier, which is let Charmander
Oh!
past. What's happening?
Autodromo has spun at Lesmos. Oh, that does not look like a safe... Oh, okay. Phew.
Let's see
I
what
thought that
happened
was
there.
gonna be...
Being
thought that was
followed
gonna be
by
it.
Brunch and just spins on their own. Oh, and I think that was, again, Chris Blue almost getting caught up into some shenanigans there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this is Chris's day, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, forgetting to press drive in the beginning and then almost getting taken out by 2 spins. Chris Blue is not having the day of his life.
Yeah, and here come we into turn 1. Wilson is jumping right on the inside of Char. Oh, they touch! They touch!
They
Char
touch.
has to take the inside. At least Wilson slows down, lets Char keep the position. That's some good sportsmanship right there.
I mean, that is
I mean,
the
okay,
second
my
time already
mistake,
that
right?
Wilson overdid it into T1.
Yeah, at least, you know, at least he didn't take advantage of pushing Char towards the sausage curbs. You know, he slowed down out of
To
the
be quite
chicane.
honest, how could he take advantage if Charmander takes the short line through the chicane?
Okay, do you realize how unstable going over the sausage curbs are?
I imagine very unstable, especially in the Audi.
Exactly, like, and like Wilson did slow down. Like, he did not accelerate out of the chicane, so it did look like he wanted to let Char keep the position, which, you know, obviously does make sense. Since he did run into him. Anyways,
I think the closest battle on track currently is Chris Blue, who is eyeing up Aaron Fergele from behind.
exactly. Ooh, it dives right on the inside of Ascari, just no fear at all. Damn.
Well, that's our championship leader in the sim racing category.
Exactly. I mean, hey, if you're leading the championship in your category, you know, you might as well be doing stuff like that, you know, just to prove your point.
I am the quicker driver. I overtake into Ascari.
Yeah. Anyways, well, looks like we have a yellow. Politsky stopped on the racing line. And he's driving again. I am genuinely confused as to what Politsky is trying to do. Politsky was stopped on the racing line at Curva Grande for like a second.
At least they managed to go before.
Yeah.
But, oh, that was a touch.
Yeah, gives Vinovich a little touch, and then here comes Damasu and Masato coming through. At least he gives them room, but yeah, Politsky is definitely going to be under investigation after today.
That is a very definite yes.
Right, so speaking of Damasu and Masato, it looks like they're in a pretty decently close fight. Coming up towards the Scary. Masato has the slipstream, but Damasu has to be defensive. Ooh! Masato is a bit too late on the brakes, has a bad exit, has a bad entry, my bad. And Damasu is going to...
This is an important battle. This is for P3 in the VTuber Championship standings. And Aaron Fergele crashed at the exit of Ascari. Let's see what happened there. Maybe hit the inside curb. Yes, hit the inside sausage a bit too much, and then goes for a fabulous 360.
Yeah, I mean, Ascari's sausage curbs are a bit sketchy, especially when you're trying to go push, you know, to gain back some time that you have lost for whatever reason. It looks like in a couple of minutes, if Masato and Damaso keep fighting, Chris Blue might join in that little fight because he has been gaining time on both of them.
That is true, right?
Then again, Chris did have a pretty decent qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. So, but the last 30 minutes or so have not gone his way. But looks like it's, his luck seems to be turning around.
Another person whose luck does not seem to be turning around is Kanemoto, who is also now out of the race, disqualified.
Oof. I wonder if it's the same reason as Mentrix, where he maybe might have overspeeded.
We will
And
probably find out later. And Tateyama is entering the pits. What is that? Why is that for? It means it looks a bit damaged, a bit scuffed, but
yeah. Also, since we were focused on Masato, Damaso, and Chris Blue, it seems like Wilson hasn't gotten past Charmander.
Well, that must have been a mistake. Let's actually see if we can see something.
Alright.
Okay, the camera is not the best. Oh, it was already past them. Okay. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I think he passed Char a long while ago.
But Char is getting a better exit out of T1 here.
Yeah, and then looks up the inside of Curva Grande. He does have the better line. He does have the shorter line out of it, but it looks like coming to Della Roggia. Wilson has the cover, of course. Does.
Is that the name of the second chicane, Della Roggia?
Yeah, I have the map of Monza pulled up on Google. Don't worry about it.
Wow. That is dedication to your job. Lovely.
Yeah, I have to alt-tab between ACC and Google to look at it.
It looks like
Anyways.
we have two battles that are the closest. We have Charmander following Wilson, and we have Damasu following Buinovic.
Yeah. I wouldn't really call that a battle. That's just more, slipstreaming and all that. But if we want to talk about a battle, the only battle that has been going on for the majority of the race has been between Wilson and Charmander. They've both had their streaks of luck and then also their streaks of bad luck. But it looks like Wilson has come out on top for the moment. There's 3 minutes left in the race, so if nothing bad happens, he should be pulling out a decent P4.
If nothing bad happens. That is truly the commentator's curse calling right there.
I know. If anything happens, I'm gonna be... I don't know how I'm gonna feel if something bad happens to Wilson now. But anyways, it looks like there's a... we've been focusing on Char and Wilson, but right behind them, it looks like Damaso has caught up to Buinovic now, and right behind them is Masato and Chris Blue also fighting. So there's pretty much a bundle of excitement from P4 all the way to P9. They're all in there,
Ooh, and that is Masato going a bit sideways there, and Chris Blue is trying to get the best out of that situation, but doesn't manage to. Maybe on the exit of Lesmos 1, getting a better exit, but not managing to pull up sideways.
Yeah, he looked up the inside for a second, but realized he's just too far back to really do anything into Lesmos 2. He might as well just pull back into the slipstream. Maybe try something in a Scoria though, because he is relatively close to Masato.
He is close, and he is driving the M6, which is another straight line monster.
Oh, he tries it up the
same move again. That was... very
It
heavily
works.
across the inside curbs, but it worked.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. Chris Blue has been very strong when it comes to driving through a Ascari, so I'm not surprised. He has made multiple positions through there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that is the second successful move he has done now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, between Bunovic and Damasu, Damasu does have the slipstream. It's going to be a little drag race down into turn one. Damasu has a huge speed advantage right now, and he's on the inside. It looks like Damasu does have it at the end. Looks like, yeah. Clean
And
slipstream pass.
a bit too late on the brakes, however, but manages to save it in time. Stay in front. Lovely, well done.
Yeah. Honestly, all of the drivers that are here, even just the people who are just driving alone are still, they're putting on a decent, they're putting on a good performance, they still, bother to show.
Yeah, at this moment, let's just thank everybody who showed up for showing up, trying their best out there.
Yeah. And
The leader has finished the race.
And the leader has finished the race. That is Dragon 05 getting the race win in front of Nike. And third position looks to be Psycho Kaiser in the overall standings. Going into the Parabolica now.
And then let's see if Char is gonna get desperate, but it looks like he's just too far back. Even like he might try some wild card idea into Parabolica, but Char is smart. I don't think he's gonna risk that when Bunovic, Damasu, Bunovic, and Chris are still relatively close to them.
Not only that, but they are not fighting for championship points. They are only fighting for overall track position.
You know, Chris casually dive bombs Bunovic, and he does bump him in Parabolica. Oh boy. I wonder how that's gonna be treated, because Chris Blue passes Bunovic with a bump pass through Parabolica.
Yeah, that is an interesting last corner move, to say the least.
I mean, I guess he was getting a bit desperate. It's not been his day. Most of this day was just a bit bad for Chris Blue, so maybe he got a bit desperate. So hey.
Maybe he got a bit desperate. Who didn't get desperate? It was Dragon 05, who we didn't feature very much this race, and sorry for that, but there was just nothing going on. Dragon 05 was just dominating this entire race in their beautiful British racing green Bentley number 5.
Yes, sir. The Bentleys in general just had to put in a dominant performance. Both of them P1, P2, miles in front of the pack, and yeah. But this race, let's call this race just a warm-up for these guys, because race 2 is about to start.
Let's hope
Very
they now know where to go, where to brake for T1, and we can have a bit of a cleaner race around there, around Monza.
Exactly. Cars are just pulling into the pits. Anyways, yeah, so, Julian, how do you feel about race 1 so far? Like, how do you feel this round is going so far?
Oh, well, it was stressful. It was stressful. Even watching it was stressful, to say the least. Simply, there were some pretty inexcusable errors there, and I'm not putting any blame on anyone specifically right now, but I feel like the quality of racing can improve quite a bit.
Yeah, I would have to agree. But you know, some of the level of experience between everybody who's on the field right now is vastly different. So, I mean, I don't really want to say that uh, the racing will get better. I would say as the season goes on, as you know, people are still learning how to drive their cars. They're still adjusting to a field of possibly adjusting to a field this size. You know, anything could happen.
Anything could
So
happen.
I'd say by the end of the season, the racing is gonna be much more cleaner. Uh, yeah, on to race two.
On to race 2, and we are starting as race 1 was started. Qualifying still counts. And Dragon 05 is still ahead of Nike and Wilson again. Let's see, the people that received a DSQ last time around, they can try again this time, try to get some points in, and hopefully keep it clean. And keep it within the speed limit in the pits.
Yeah, and also it looks like I'm having issues again.
It seems like the issues always happen when the session changes.
Yeah, and this time leaving did not help. Like my HUD is off this time. Amazing.
So, we have got some vocal people in the chat. Yes, there was some rather questionable stuff that we already saw today. We know, and we are going to talk about that after the races are over. Like, in the administration of TRACC.
Yes, because obviously we want every race to be fun, fair, and clean. So if anything happens, we're obviously going to be looking into it. We're going to make sure that everybody's having fun. And obviously we want to make sure everybody's, you know, fighting fair. We don't want dirty cheaters in our damn lobbies.
Yes.
There's no other way that I can really say anything, okay?
Yes, yes. No, it's fine. That was one way of putting it.
You know?
We don't want these damn cheaters in our lobby.
Sound like a southern man.
Oh God, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh,
There.
this is the second race. We still have a temperature of 39 degrees in the air and 48 degrees on the track. So again, managing tires will be interesting, to say the least.
God, are we in Italy or are we in the UK or something? 39 degrees should not be a thing right now.
Not even in the UK, because they're racing a MotoGP this weekend and they have like high tens of degrees. So
Didn't the UK have a heat wave recently though?
it did have a heat wave. That was a few weeks back. Yeah.
Oh wait, right. I forgot that was a few weeks back. God damn, time moves so fast.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly. Anyways.
It's good to see that we're all having fun. Oh, I need to switch to race 2 because we're now in race 2, obviously.
Yes. Let's see how this race is gonna go.
With a bunch of tire warmers amongst the grid. Not everyone though. Obviously, some people realize we have 48 degrees of track temperature.
Yeah, I don't think you really need to warm up your tires right now.
Yes, it is.
The track is already an oven.
Time to overcook them tires into T1. Perfect. Perfect strategy. I'm thinking now. Overcooked tires, what would that mean? That would first of all mean, yeah, they're getting more use. They're getting more worn. But also means they're going to have less grip. So actually tire warming might be counterproductive at this stage.
Yeah, with these track temperatures, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like you really need to warm up your tires when the track itself is already warm. You know, there's already there's already rubber laid down on the racing line, you know. It's all fine. I think people should just be focusing on turn one. What the hell?
That is one strategy by
That was
Metrics.
someone on the ground. I mean, I guess maybe he's trying to cool off his tires?
Yeah, exactly. Probably played a bit too much iRacing in the last few weeks.
Yeah, maybe it might have been watching a few tutorials on how to do the grass exploit.
Yes. But we
Anyways.
are coming up to this start-finish line, and it looks like Nike is in front again, lining up better. But Dragon 05 still with the inside line, and we are green. Let's go racing for the second time today. And Nike seems to get the upper hand on the start-finish straight, indicating to the left.
Yes, and as soon as the race starts, Chris Blue gets someone got bumped. I think Chris Blue, bumped somebody at I believe that was Bunovich. Yeah, I think he bumped Bunovich. And there's a big pile up. There's a big pile up in the turn one. Oh boy. Everybody's bumping and bumping. Oh my god.
Let's see what happened there in the instant replay.
So
we've got 3 wide in 2 lines. Wow. And yeah, there's Bunovich getting tagged by Chris Blue. And what happens further back? Oh, it's just carnage.
yeah, anyways, it looks like people are, the people who were unlucky the last race seem to be having a bit of a better fortune this time around. As Char did not get spun out into turn 1 this time, so hey, he is actually sticking to Kaiser relatively decently, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
Looking
yeah,
even
Ronald's
for a
not-
move into Ascari. Maybe with a good exit, that can even be fulfilled. And there's a drive-through penalty for Chris Blue. That was probably due to an infringement at the starting grid.
Yes, I believe he did start a bit earlier than he should have. So I guess he's just gonna have to make the best of it until he has to serve that penalty, as he goes for a nice little move on brunch. And Bunovich hit somebody. I don't know who that was. I think that was. I don't know who Bunovich hit, but yeah. It was one of the Ferraris. It was Adskia.
Adskia, exactly, with a beautiful livery.
For me, it's just plain blue.
Yeah.
Sadly. Anyways, yeah, it looks like the grid is somewhat calming down, at least at the front. But it looks like down the field there's still some decent slipstream trains going on, as Hartog makes a nice little move on the chicane into Della Roggia. And
that was Chris Blue actually making the move.
Oh yeah, Chris Blue did that. Hartog actually bumped chicane, actually. My bad. Hartog comes out as
a bit further behind is the Battle of the Blues between Adskia and Vögele.
I mean, I wouldn't really call it a battle.
Oh, it wasn't too.
And Politsky going wide out of Lesmo 2. Don't know what happened to him, but
Politsky is not having the bestest of days at all.
not at all. I mean, I don't think this weekend as a whole hasn't gone his way, I would say. Like, now he's all the way down last, and who was that?
That is
Was
Kuro.
That was Kuro.
What happened there?
Spun. Who
Oh,
knows?
and hit the wall. That is unfortunate.
You hate to see those. Nice. Looks like.
Let's go back up the field. There is currently Damaso fighting against Masato, fending off the Swiss.
Yes, sir. Meanwhile, behind. But it looks like Hartog and Shike seems to be in a lot of fight, as well as there's a three-way between Asagawa, Vogel, and Atsukia. Asagawa diving up on the inside, now outside of Atsukia, right behind Vogel, and maybe you can follow through. And ooh, Vogel goes too deep. Vogel goes too deep. You have to cut the corner. He's slowing down, letting Atsukia pass, by the looks of things. Yeah, that was a bit of a sketchy move, but hey, you're trying to defend. There's two people behind you. Like, don't really blame him. Another Lesmo too, right behind him. Already looking to attack back, gain back that position that Atsukia taken from him. But has to back down, sadly. Maybe you can do something in the Scari, but even then, I think the Ferrari might have a bit of a top speed advantage. I don't know which one is faster, whether it's the McLaren or the Ferrari, honestly.
I do believe it is the McLaren in a straight line. Looking on the outside, actually, there. Probably not getting it done. Oh,
And
that was almost a touch.
I think that, yeah. And Asagawa takes advantage.
And
Passing
Chris
Vogel
Blue is
is
doing his right through now at the last possible opportunity.
Meanwhile, Vogel and Asagawa having a drag race down to turn 1. Asagawa does brake a bit better than Vogel, but Vogel does have the inside on the exit of the chicane, but doesn't really matter.
It's just a better line for Asagawa there on the exit. And now it's the Lexus power in the straight line.
But Vogel he does have the slipstream, so let's not forget that.
Doesn't manage to capitalize on it, however.
Sadly.
Charmander is taking on Kaiser in the meanwhile.
Yeah, they've been fighting for quite a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Charmander trying to manifest his superiority in the VTuber class again, as they have lost quite a bit of ground to the two Bentleys again. And
Yeah.
there's a yellow flag in Ascari Damasu. What happened there?
It's anyone's guess, but let's look at the replay.
While watching the replay, there's another yellow flag.
Yeah, Shike, for some reason, braking in the middle of a Scari, just slowing down. I think he might have had a little accident between him and Atsukia.
Yeah.
Maybe giving back the position.
But that from the master, that was a nice power slide. Almost.
Style points.
Style points.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kaiser is just chasing down Char.
Trying to.
But trying to, yeah, true, actually. Char probably has a lot of, there's a lot of built up, you know, I would say aggression that now needs to be unleashed after what happened in race one. You know, I'd say Char had a much better chance at race one if the beginning wasn't so terrible for him. You know, if he was a bit more, he was a bit unlucky at the start, but it looks like fortune has turned his way as he's on the podium right now.
Yes. Someone else who's currently looking a bit better is Hartog, P10 right now, following Brunch in his Lexus. Going through the Lesmos. I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of BMW, but their liveries, they are striking.
Honestly, I will say one thing: the M4, the M4 GT3 car, I would say looks better than the M4 road car, and it's not because, you know, hey, look, it's a very pretty GT car, the aggressive lines, big wing, gigantic body kit. No, it's not because of that. It's actually because the front grille of the M4, it's the GT car a lot better than a road car. That's just how I see it, honestly.
Fair enough. I was going to mention the white body kit, which actually makes it look much more sportier and makes the front grille fit the much more sporty exterior. But sure.
Yeah. Speaking of BMWs, Mentrix was fighting Chris before he decided to do a little bit of lawn mowing with his with the left side, right side of his M4, giving Chris a relatively easy pass. And it looks like he's already making even more advantage of it as he passes Tateyama.
Yeah.
At the P16.
It looks like Tateyama is maybe steering with the keyboard. The movement is really erratic.
No, if I was reading the driver chat. If I'm not mistaken, Tateyama has a setup error as well. So he has a wrong setup for his car. Meanwhile, it looks like Bunovich is not having a good day as he's stuck behind Shike. Right through Lesmos. He almost hit Shike at De La Roja actually, but now going to the Lesmos too, you can definitely tell the pace difference between Bunovich and Shike as they get out of Lesmos to like. There's a lot more speed that Bunovich is carrying.
Yeah,
On the outside
true.
Going on the outside of Ascari, Shike just lets him pass. I think he knows he can unfight him. Meanwhile, a bit further up is Hartog and Brunch are still fighting. They were side by side for a moment apart about that. There's a lot of fights that are going on that we cannot keep up with right now.
It's a luxury problem to have. But Hartog seems to be having the better out of the slipstream. Can he manage to break it down for the apex? Lovely, well done by Tom Hartog.
Yeah, it looks like Brunch was not that confident in defending against Hartog, but it didn't look like he really wanted to defend at all. It didn't seem like he was even attempting. Meanwhile, Kaiser and Wilson are bumper to bumper right now, out of Lesmo 2. Wilson on Kaiser's slipstream as they head down to Ascari. Char has built up a decent gap between him and Kaiser, so yeah, probably gonna even extend that gap if Wilson and Kaiser keep fighting.
Now let's see what they can do inside the slipstream.
Back. Kaiser looks like he's still they look like they are still the better driver, but I don't think I think the McLaren's power should allow Wilson to get a to pretty much level out the field as he goes back into the slipstream.
He is driving against the Lexus, however.
Yeah, true, but the McLaren does have much better brakes than the Lexus.
Looks like
But
it. But the better line was with Kaiser this time around.
yeah, it looks like Kaiser really knows how to defend into turn 1. And that fighting is just, casually helping out Charmander as he builds up an even bigger lead.
Even though Charmander is building a lead in front of Kaiser and Wilson, he's still losing time to the lead of Dragon 5 and Nike, who are much closer now to each other than they were in race 1.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think Dragon might have had a bit of an issue because if I'm not mistaken, he was 2 seconds up at the start of the race, wasn't he?
That was last race, I believe. I actually
No,
haven't followed them quite this closely this time around.
I was looking at their times. No, last race he was ahead by like 4 seconds. On Dragon was like 4 seconds ahead of Nike. So no, yeah, at the start of the race, it looked like Nike has had a much better pace in this race compared to race 1.
To be fair,
as he's now
Nike,
actually able to keep the slipstream.
yeah, and Nike does have the best lap of the race, as he did in race 1, and this time it is a 149.5 ahead of Dragon's 49.9, so 4/10 quicker in 1 lap. But
yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It seems just that he's not as consistent.
And there's a yellow flag, and then Damasu has spun at Parabolica.
Oh, just lost it on the inside of Masato there. There was luckily no touching, no bad touch.
Thankfully, no touching. Meanwhile, the grid has spread out even further now. But it looks like I think Char might have had a bit of a little moment because I think he had a bad exit out of De La Roggia because that gap was 2 seconds, now it's 1.5. Interesting.
Yeah, it seems like Wilson's getting a bit frustrated behind Kaiser, going wide there into the gravel trap, but swerving from left to right, trying to get any move done.
Yeah, but it looks like it's not helping him as he's now losing time on Kaiser. He was 3/10. I know Kaiser spun! Kaiser has spun!
That is Kaiser gone and Wilson now passed. And Merker
as
also
well.
passed. And there's Masato getting passed as well. Kaiser's now outside of the top 3.
Oh, that's how... Again, like we've said it at the start of this podcast as well, that's racing for you. A simple mistake like that just ends up crushing your world. Kaiser was comfortably in a position to get a decent finish in P4, but one mistake out of Ascari and now he's all the way down in P7 with no slipstream help.
Very unfortunate. Indeed.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
there's a yellow flag. Shike Hawken is out as well at Ascari. What happened there? Let's take a look. Alright, the Porsche looks pretty battered already, and just loses it on his own.
yeah. Meanwhile, Akira Suzugawa seems to be taking seems to be really pushing against Brunch right now. He has closed the gap quite significantly. It looks like he does want that top 10 finish right now. Right over Lesmos 1. Lesmos 2.
He's flashing. That is one to my liking. Flashing the person ahead. I like that. I do that.
I want to. Do you? What is he trying to? He's trying to distract. Is this sabotage?
He's just trying to distract, and he's not flashing the entire time, so it's not punishable by.
Yeah, I mean, actually, if I'm not mistaken, they are teammates. If I'm not wrong.
Are they?
I mean,
let's see.
I mean, I'm not looking at. I don't know if they both run in the Kaneka Racing livery or not, but
they are both.
I know that most
Racing,
of the
yes.
yeah, I know. Oh my god, I know. The guys at Kaneka Racing are basically a team, so they're not gonna fight. They're just gonna be drafting buddies.
Oh, good question. What happened with Nike? He's now 3 seconds behind. Let's see if we can spot anything.
Oh yeah, probably. Oh yeah, Nike is not having good issue. He just went wide on Lesmos too as well. Meanwhile, Victor Masato has been passed by Kaiser, so Kaiser is already pushing. He's already pushing to regain the positions that he has lost. But even though there's 15 minutes left, I don't think he's going to be closing up that 7-second gap to Merker.
Yeah, that is going to be definitely a challenge to him. What is also a challenge is for Asasagawa to pass Brunch. Still trying.
I don't know if he's even trying though. Because I don't know. Like I feel like they're doing a team strategy because they are both part of Kaneka Racing, after all.
Yeah, but see, that's not a team strategy. That is not a team strategy.
Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, true. You know what? Yeah, you're right. They are not teammates, right? They are. It's a team rivalry. It's like.
Yes.
It's like Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg.
It is the rivalry coming on right now.
I know. Ooh, Assetto is a little sideways on the entry of Parabolica, but to balance that out, Brunch does go a bit too wide at Parabolica's exit as well. So they just broke even on that little interaction. Not to mention they are, if I'm not mistaken, they are catching up to Hardtop.
Yes, Hardtop did have a bad moment, and there's a yellow flag. Politsky again, right up ahead of them, on the racetrack.
He's on the racing line. That's actually on the racing line. Well, that's way too close to the racing line. Oh my god. Brunch and Asasagawa almost hit Politsky. That was way too risky. Anyways, Asasagawa going on the inside of De La Rocha. Brunch does manage to break him. And he defends it pretty perfectly, but let's see if Asasagawa's gonna...
That was Asasagawa
wait,
making the pass.
I am blind. I need glasses. Look, they're the exact same car.
You cannot blame me. But if you had liveries installed, you would see the difference.
I cannot install liveries because I'm using a conduit. I don't have access to any of the game folders.
That is very unfortunate for you.
I know. Potato PC moment, fellas.
Can we have an F in chat for Ivano's PC, please?
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, hey, and not only is Charmander a great driver, he's also a great friend, as he has sent me a GPU. I just need to get a PSU to actually make sure it doesn't explode.
Yeah. I do have a 3000 watts PSU that I don't need anymore.
You don't have a 3000 watt PCU that's just sitting around. Like, I don't believe that.
I'll send you a picture later, but I do.
Actually, you know what? Actually, no, I do believe that because you're a goddamn sim racer. Overkill is your thing.
Yeah, I currently have a 1250 watt PSU in my PC built in, so yes, overkill is my thing.
Wait, wait, so you have a spare 3000 watt PCU, but you have a 1200 watt PCU in your PC instead?
Yeah, because my 3000 watt PSU doesn't fit in my case.
Oh, okay, then, you know, that makes sense. Okay, okay, then what makes you think it's gonna fit in my case?
You could have an open case.
I mean, true. I mean, I'm gonna have to open this thing up to put the new GPU in it anyways.
Yeah, lovely. Anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, what
I
is
mean,
happening?
look, there's no fighting going on right now, so I think that was justified.
Okay, yeah. I do have another 1250 watt PCU lying around as well. That would fit in a normal PC case. I'm kind of in love with PC hardware. Don't at me.
I'm gonna add you on Twitter, just to ask you about it. Listen, if there's one thing I am, it's being annoying on Twitter.
Oh,
anyway,
God.
it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna bully you on Twitter. Don't worry about it. Not yet, anyways.
I would bully you back, and I would bully you better. So you better
Anyways,
don't.
we're talking too much. I think we gotta focus back on this.
Let's focus back on Kuro, who is just taken a Mentrix, it seems.
Yeah, and a bit further back down the field is Kanemoto and Shike fighting for position as well. They're fighting for P20.
Fighting for the last place. Let's go.
I mean, hey, it's still a place.
This might be a very unfitting thing to say, but I have no idea how Politsky is ahead of Hawken and Kanemoto.
I don't know either. What I'm wondering, I think Shike and Kanemoto have had big issues. So, like, at the start, anyway, oh!
Brunch just went past Asagawa again, and what happened there with Mentrix?
Kuro, Mentrix went wide, braked way too late, so he had to take the escape road. My bad, I can't speak. Mentrix took the escape road, and Kuro ran into Politsky.
Was Politsky standing on the track again? Yes.
I mean, yes. I mean, Politsky is just... I don't know what Politsky is doing. Like, this is probably the most confusing driver I've ever seen. And he almost cuts right across Kuro again.
Confusing or confused? And stopping again in the middle of the two lessons. What is...
I am so confused. Like, he's a confusing driver to look at, and he makes me confused. So I'm gonna say, C, all of the above.
Aye. A moving chicane. Yes, actually, that is one of our guys. We have planted him there in order to to make the race more interesting for everyone. No.
Speaking of interesting, let's see if Shike can get past Politsky without a major issue. Okay, that looked a bit fishy.
It did look a bit sketchy, yes.
I wouldn't say sketchy, I would say fishy, because it looked like Politsky was not accelerating out of a scurry. Like, as if it was, like, intentionally trying to block Shike. Not like a good and clean block either. Like, it looked like it was straight up trying to get Shike to bump into him, but hey. we'll look into the staff will look into Politsky when the time comes, because I'd say he's driving a bit too fishy for us to really put it up as an inexperienced driver or as a accident-prone driver. I'd say these look a bit intentional.
Yes, we're definitely going to have a look into him. In the meantime, elsewhere on the track, Chris Blue is catching up with Brunch, having already gotten past Asagawa.
Yeah, it looks like Chris has been, really on the run lately. Well, and what's going on, man? Oh, Mentrix has spun.
Mentrix has spun. Oh, and back.
Mentrix is,
And
you
that
guys,
is Charmander taken out.
Char gets collected. Oh no. Oh,
that is.
Mentrix,
what are you doing, Mentrix?
Mentrix is. Oh my god. I saw the yellow flag at Lesmos. I went to check and I just see carnage.
Okay.
Oh, that was not good at all.
Write it on the list. Write it down. That's another moment
And
for the stewards.
Murphy has gone off an Ascari. What's going on? It's been like 20 minutes of nothing, and suddenly it's just chaos.
Well. And now Hartog is yellow flag. Ooh, and that is right on the straight. And there's. Oh no!
Oh no!
That is Chris Blue collected. And Chris Blue is completely damaged and obliterated.
And Asagawa almost got collected as well in that. What's going on?
I guess
this is like
everyone's getting a bit stressed because it's going towards the end of the second race. But this is...
And Char has to take the escape road on turn 1. What's going on? I don't know if I'm watching an Assetto Corsa race or if I'm watching a BeamNG movie. Oh, okay, so I'm just getting some information right now. Hartog's wheel turned off.
Hartog's wheel turned off on the middle of the straight. That is not good. Okay.
Yeah, he's in the pits right now. He just exited right back to the pits. So I'd say that's Hartog's race over, sadly.
Yeah, and Chris Blue's race over too, it seems, as he's entering the pits right now with a severely damaged front.
That bumper is hanging off.
Yeah, it's a wonder it's hanging on still, even at this point.
Yeah, you know, I wish for days like this to not happen. And Politsky's just stopped on the track again. Like, what is he doing? Like, what's going on in that person's head?
Stewards are gonna have a field day after this race.
No, oh gee, you think?
Probably.
Honestly, we might have to give the stewards a raise after this.
Yeah. Let's give him a percentual raise. 0+% is still 0. Lovely.
Anyways. So it looks like the chaos has somewhat calmed down now. Sadly, Char is no longer on the podium as Wilson has taken over that spot.
On the overall podium, Char is still in the lead for the VTuber class.
Yeah, true. I believe Char is actually leading.
Yeah.
I believe Char is actually first place on the VTuber class right now, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct. 5 seconds ahead of Kaiser.
Yeah, but with the possible damage on Charmander's car, like I don't know how extensive the damage is. I hope it's just mild damage, and it looks like he can still continue because he did get tagged by Mentrix during that incident.
Might have been a challenge for the rear right suspension, but other than that, if that's survived it, then I guess he can
Yeah.
finish this race in this position without a problem. Let's give some
Yeah,
screen
there's 2
time to
minutes
our
left.
leader in the meanwhile. Dragon05 has been dominating this weekend. What can we say about him?
Well, all I will say is that with the dominance shown here, I'd say this dominance is probably going to continue throughout the series, throughout the season.
Let's hope we can see enough. We can see more of this masterclass of racing. Maybe even some battles with Nike if Nike managed to get a bit of consistency going. Because Nike has the possibility
I mean-
to be quicker. He does have the purple lap this time around still.
Yeah, true. But then again, Monza is one of those tracks that is hard to be consistent at as well. Like, let's not forget that too.
Yes, the braking points into the chicanes are very, very,
They're very precise. Like,
yeah,
and also
precise.
there's obviously then there's the sketchy corners like Ascari, and there's also a Parabolica that is also hard to get if you don't have good throttle management as well. Really, the only easy corners, and I'm still gonna put these in quotes because no part of Monza is easy, despite how simple the track itself is. The Lesmos and Curva Grande are like the only places that are really, they're not as precise as some of the other parts of the track, I would say.
Oh, you don't want to know how long I took to learn where the breaking point for Lesmos 1 is. It took me a solid year for that to figure that out. Anyways,
Finish the race.
Dragon05 manages to win this race ahead of Nike, and the third sim racer in line would be Thomas Wilson, who's currently going into the Parabolica.
Yes, and some other news. It looks like Tateyama will be Tateyama has had a massive issue as he got disconnected. Actually,
Oh, that is very unfortunate.
I believe Tateyama was running P15 or 14 somewhere around there before getting disconnected. If I'm not mistaken. Anyways, Kaiser passing along P6, Masato P7, Damasu coming through Parabolica right now. Take P8, Brunch right behind them. Behind them to take P9, Asagawa right behind Brunch to take P10. Atsuki and Bunovich might have one little last fight into Parabolica, but I don't think so. It looks like Atsuki has P11 locked down.
It's 1.5 seconds between them. That
Yeah,
would be
it looks
the
like
dive of the not even century, millennium.
Yeah. Bunovich P12, Vogel P13. Kuro's already finished P14, Mentrix P15, Shike P16, Kenamoto P17, Chris Blue, unfortunately, even after a good race, even after an amazing performance, I would say, is sadly P18. Hartog, again, very unfortunate at P19. Pilitsky's P20, and that's going to conclude our round for today.
Yes, that was the were the two races today. I do not envy the stewards. I do not envy them.
Me neither. I will say this has been a very typical Monza weekend. Lots of carnage, lots of slipstreaming, and honestly, just lots of randomness. And I will admit, I like all three of those. Okay, maybe not slipstreaming, but chaos and randomness, hell yeah, I'm all for that.
Anyways, this was today's race. I hope you people enjoyed the show at least. There was a lot to watch out for. Next week we are going to be racing at Paul Ricard, which may not be the most beautiful of racetracks, but it definitely always has good racing going on, especially on that over a kilometer long back straight.
I can't wait for people to overshoot that kilometer long back straight. I'm just gonna say that now. Anyway, thank you to everybody who's tuned into the broadcast, and we will see you next week, as Julian has said, at Paul Ricard. Goodbye.